This is the story of Daniel, a humble man who loved his wife and worked hard for his future. But when success knocked on his door, jealousy and greed turned the people he trusted most into enemies. What started as a blessing soon became a deadly plot, and the truth would shock an entire community. A tale of ambition, deceit, and unexpected justice. Let's begin. Daniel was a hard-working man who loved his wife, Esther, more than anything. They lived in a small house in the city. Life was simple but peaceful. Daniel worked in a factory and earned enough to take care of them. But one day, the company shut down, and Daniel lost his job. At first, he thought he would find another job quickly. But weeks turned into months. They used up all their savings. Esther became worried. She tried to support him, but things were getting hard. They had no children yet, but the stress was heavy. One evening, Esther visited her father, Mr. Martins, a respected senior manager in a big company. After dinner, she told him everything. How Daniel was trying but couldn't find a job. Mr. Martins sighed and said, "I'll see what I can do." A week later, Mr. Martins helped Daniel get a job at his company. It wasn't a high position, but Daniel was grateful. He worked hard, came early, and stayed late. Slowly, he gained respect in the company. Esther was proud of him. Things started to get better. They moved into a better apartment. Life was good again. But nobody knew what the future held. Jealousy was quietly growing like a weed in a garden. Daniel's rise was just beginning, but so was the storm. 3 years passed. Daniel had become one of the most trusted workers in the company. His ideas brought in more customers. His managers noticed his dedication, including the CEO. One Friday morning, the CEO called for a meeting. All senior staff, including Mr. Martins and Daniel, were invited. Everyone gathered in the big boardroom. The CEO stood up and smiled. "I have a special announcement," he said. "Mr. Johnson, our director, is retiring next month after 25 years of service. We will soon appoint a new director." Everyone clapped. "But we're not just looking at years of service," the CEO continued. "We are looking for someone with new ideas, leadership, and results. One of you in this room will take that position." People looked at one another. Later that day, Daniel was called into the CEO's office. The CEO said, "Daniel, your growth has been impressive. The board is considering you for the director's role." Daniel was shocked. "Me?" "Yes," the CEO replied. "Keep working hard. Nothing is final yet, but you're a top candidate." Daniel went home and told Esther. She jumped with joy. "I'm so proud of you," she said, hugging him. But things weren't so joyful for everyone. Mr. Martins heard the same news in the office, and he was not happy. "How can they give it to Daniel?" he muttered. "I've worked here for 20 years. I brought him in, and now he wants to climb over me." Jealousy filled his heart. He didn't sleep well that night. He started thinking. "I won't let this happen," he whispered to himself. The same man who gave Daniel a chance was now planning to take it away. Mr. Martins couldn't hide his anger anymore. At home, he paced back and forth in his living room. His wife, Mama Esther, asked him what was wrong, but he only said, "Work stress." That evening, he called his daughter, Esther, to his house. When she arrived, he sat her down and spoke slowly. "Esther, I heard that Daniel is about to be promoted to director." Esther smiled. "Yes, Daddy. Isn't that good news?" But her father's face was serious. "No, it's not." Her smile faded. "I've been in that company for 20 years, Mr. Martins continued. "I've worked day and night, built the company with my sweat. Now they want to give the biggest position to your husband. That's not fair." "But Daddy," Esther said softly, "Daniel worked hard too. And it was the company's decision, not his." Mr. Martins shook his head. "Listen, Esther. That position should be mine. I deserve it. And you must help me." "Help you? How?" she asked, confused. Talk to your husband. Tell him to step down. If he really respects me, he'll understand. Esther looked down. Her heart beat fast. But Daniel is excited. He didn't even ask for the position. The board saw his hard work. Mr. Martins raised his voice. Esther, I got him that job. If not for me, he'd still be jobless. This is how he repays me. You must talk to him. Esther nodded slowly. Okay. I'll speak to him. That night, she went home. Daniel was watching TV, happy and relaxed. She sat beside him, held his hand, and said, Baby, can we talk about the new position? She didn't know it yet, but that moment would change their lives forever. Daniel turned off the TV and faced his wife. What's wrong, Esther? She took a deep breath. I spoke with my dad today. He's not happy that you might become director. Daniel raised his eyebrows. Why? I didn't even apply for it. The company chose me. Esther nodded. I know, but he says he's been there for many years. He feels he deserves the position. He wants you to step down, so he can be chosen instead. Daniel's face changed. He stood up slowly. What? He said you owe him, Esther added. He gave you the job when you had nothing. Daniel walked to the window, silent for a while. Then he turned around. I respect your father, he said. I will always be grateful. But I worked hard. I earned this. I didn't step on anyone to get here. I know, Esther said gently. But please, think about it. He's my father. He feels hurt. Daniel sighed. So what do you want me to do? I don't know, Esther replied, unsure. Just, maybe you can turn down the offer. Daniel shook his head. No. This is my time. I won't give it up. Not even for your father. I'm sorry. That night, Esther couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, thinking about what her father would say. By morning, she looked tired and worried. She returned to her father and told him what Daniel said. Mr. Martins clenched his fists. So he refused. Esther nodded. A dark silence filled the room. Then Mr. Martins said something that made her heart drop. If he won't step down, we'll make him disappear. Esther looked up, shocked. What do you mean? I mean it's time to end this. You'll help me. The plan had begun. Esther stared at her father in shock. Daddy, what are you saying? Are you serious? Mr. Martins looked straight at her. Very serious. This is the only way. If Daniel is gone, I can get that position. I've worked for it my whole life. Esther's hands shook. But he's my husband. And I'm your father. Mr. Martins snapped. Your husband can decide to leave you any day, but I am your father. I will stand by you for the rest of my life, no matter what happens. Who helped you when you were hungry? Who gave that man a job when no one else would? You owe me this, Esther. Mr. Martins said, voice shaking. Tears filled Esther's eyes. She didn't know what to say. Mr. Martins lowered his voice. Don't worry. No one will find out. Just mix this into his food tonight. He handed her a small bottle with a dark liquid inside. Just a little will do the job. Esther looked at the bottle and whispered, but what if it doesn't work? What if they find out? Don't be scared. I've handled worse. Just do your part, he said. That evening, Esther went home with the poison in her purse. Daniel welcomed her with a smile and a kiss. The next morning, Esther woke up early and made tea for Daniel. She smiled and acted normal, but inside she was shaking. Daniel came out of the bedroom, still sleepy, and sat at the table. Thanks, babe, he said with a yawn as he drank the tea. Esther picked up her bag. I'm going to see a friend, she said. All right. See you later, Daniel replied. She closed the door behind her and walked away fast, not looking back. By the time I return, she thought, it will be done. But life had other plans. Just 1 hour after she left, Daniel's close friend, Mike, stopped by to visit. He knocked, then opened the door and found Daniel lying on the floor, shaking. Daniel. Daniel, he shouted. Mike called an ambulance immediately. They rushed Daniel to the hospital. The doctors acted fast and saved him. Later that afternoon, while Esther was laughing with a friend in town, her phone rang. It was one of her friends, her face filled with shock. Esther, Daniel is in the hospital. He was poisoned, but he's alive. Esther's smile faded. Her whole body went cold. She left in a hurry, but instead of going to the hospital, she ran home to pack her bags and escape. Esther's hands shook as she opened the door to her bedroom. She pulled out a travel bag and began throwing clothes inside. Her mind was racing. I have to run, she whispered to herself. They will find out I'm the one who poisoned him. Daddy will not protect me if they catch me. She grabbed some money from the drawer and her passport from the wardrobe. She kept looking around nervously, every small sound making her jump. If I can just leave the city before nightfall, I'll be safe, she thought. Her heart pounded faster as she zipped the bag and slung it over her shoulder. She quickly checked through the window, no one was there. Esther walked toward the main gate, trying to look calm, but her legs felt heavy. Sweat rolled down her forehead. She reached for the gate latch, ready to slip out. But just as she opened it, boom! 2 police officers stepped forward. Mrs. Esther Martins, one of them asked firmly. Her voice shook. Yes. You are under arrest for the attempted murder of your husband, Daniel Adie. Before she could respond, they took the bag from her hand and placed her in handcuffs. Wait. This is a mistake. I didn't, she began, but her voice broke. The officers looked at her coldly. Save it for the station. As they led her to the police car, neighbors peeked through their windows, whispering. At that same moment, in the hospital, Daniel lay on the bed, unaware that his wife was already in police custody, and that the truth was about to spread like wildfire. The news spread fast. Daniel had survived. The doctor's quick action and Mike's timely arrival had saved his life. When Mr. Martins heard the shocking update, his heart skipped a beat. Not only had Daniel pulled through, but his daughter Esther had been arrested and was now facing serious charges. The weight of his actions began to crush him. He knew the police would soon come for him too. Desperate, Mr. Martins packed a small suitcase and slipped quietly out of his house in the early hours of the morning. He made his way to the airport, hoping to catch the first flight out of the country. But just as he reached the departure gate, a firm hand landed on his shoulder. Mr. Martins, a deep voice said, "You're under arrest." He turned slowly, his face pale, to see 2 plainclothes officers standing behind him. His attempt to flee had failed. The people around stared, murmuring as the once respected man was led away in handcuffs. Daniel, still recovering in the hospital, learned of the arrest later that day. His heart was heavy, not with revenge, but with sadness for a family torn apart by greed and betrayal. This story reminds us that greed can destroy families, and betrayal never ends well. In life, success is sweeter when it's earned honestly, not stolen through lies or harm to others. And no matter how far you try to run from your wrongdoings, the truth always catches up. If you enjoyed this story and want more engaging tales like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next one.